It is in short sections with no chapter headings, just numbers. And here's the first one. 1. Zip is an alert, joyful mix of Chihuahua, Dachshund, and Jack Russell Terrier, a mutt's mutt. When he walks, his muscles ripple on his powerful little chest and flexing legs. He paces ahead of me, chest thrust out, eagerly tugging me forward with his leash. If I were standing on a skateboard, he'd easily pull me along. If you had met Zip 8 years ago on a New Jersey highway when he was 5 months old, lost, alone, injured, limping and cold, you'd never have visualized the healthy, loving, joyful version of him sitting on my lap as I type these words. Zip is asleep inside the floor-length hooded terry cloth bathrobe designed and sewn for me by my wife, Jeannie. Zip's nose is thrust out of the robe, the position in which he finds himself every morning from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. my writing time. One paw is draped, as usual, over my left wrist. It's moving up and down as I type these words. 2. As the years pass, what I fear most is losing Jeannie. At age 74, her life seems as vulnerable as a scrap of tissue paper drifting toward an open flame. I don't know where to begin when trying to describe her. How about this? Jeannie's easygoing intelligence and friendly, unpretentious, graceful kindness always makes her an instant hit with the wisest, most empathetic people. And Jeannie is my wife, lover, and best friend. 3. Jeannie and I both fear losing Zip. Zip is getting scarily old. The underside of his muzzle is turning alarmingly gray. The rest of Zip's fur is a warm, honey brown that lies flat and smells clean and healthy. His eyes are large, dark brown and bright. Zip's nose is slightly darker brown than his fur. His soft ears perk up alertly when he's on guard and flop halfway down the side of his head when he's in a relaxed mood. 4. Jeannie is the most well-read person in almost any room she walks into. She reads for pure pleasure and to satisfy her insatiable, lifelong, joyful curiosity about everything. 5. Zip doesn't read, but teaches everyone around him by brilliant, generous, and kind example. If Zip could read and write, here's what Zip might say. There are no small moments. There is just the time you have right now. Life is not about some big plan. Your life is about how you interact with others. The important meeting you'll go to is no more significant than the extra moment you spend talking to the woman delivering a package. Alone is bad. Together is good. Connect. Alienation and isolation, distrust and disconnection from others never ends well. Bluntly, evolution wants lonely people dead. The Surgeon General said so. 6. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy issued an urgent warning in 2023 about the epidemic of loneliness and social isolation. He said, quote, "Loneliness and social isolation increase the risk for premature death by 26%. Lacking social connection can increase the risk of premature death as much as smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. Poor or insufficient social connection is associated with increased risk of disease, including a 29% increased risk of heart disease and a 32% increased risk of stroke. Furthermore, it is associated with increased risk for anxiety, depression, and dementia," end quote. 7. These days, when I hug Jeannie while we're standing in the kitchen, in hallways, bedrooms, or on a walk with Zip, my arms wrapped around her tightly, my hands clasped behind her back, Jeannie makes the most comfortable sighing sound. This happiest of all sounds, of deep contentment, makes me feel deliriously joyful. Hi, this is Frank Schaefer, and I am a writer, and here is my new book, The Gospel of Zip, a canine human love story exploring why most dogs and a few humans live joyful lives. Now, you just watched an excerpt from this book of me reading it out loud for free on YouTube. And if you go to thegospelofzip.com, you can find all the links. Why did I put it on YouTube for free? Well, I also want to sell books because I earn my living as a writer, and it's on Amazon in both paperback and Kindle. But maybe because I have missionary parents, I have a sense of mission. And my sense of mission these days tells me a couple things. First of all, people's individual love stories and relationships are often in chaos. There's a lot of divorce, there's a lot of separation, there are a lot of kids who have trouble even imagining how to date and go forward with relationships and love. And I take my relationship with Jeannie that I've been married to for 56 years now for granted, because we're so used to living together that the idea of not having someone to support you when you're in need, drive to get skin cancer cut off your face, whatever, is unimaginable. But there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people looking for advice on how to make a relationship work. Childcare, whether to have a child or not, what is most important in life. And so I've written the Gospel of Zip and placed it online for free because I want to do something to help people who just seem so lost these days or just need some advice. But there's another mission that I have, which is why if you go to thegospelofzip.com and watch the book for free and or buy it on Amazon, you will find that I'm taking on the tech bros and their dehumanization of our culture. I'm taking on the commercialization of our consumerist society that is driving all of us insane. And there's something I want to say that some of you may find offensive. You know what we all long for right now? And I use this word even though it's unpopular with a lot of people advisedly. We want normality. Normal relationships where we can count on somebody's love. Normal relationships with our culture around us instead of insane leadership in the White House or insane leadership in the Department of Defense or whatever it may be. We long for just a normal day when we can go through the day without a scandal, without feeling threatened, without feeling that the tech bros are unleashing some new monstrosity on us for their profit and hounding us through their algorithms to drive us all down little rabbit holes where we wind up hating each other. Now, the Gospel of Zip, believe it or not, is the answer to these things, because this book is about normal human love. A love story between my wife and me, a love story between me and my children, a love story about my care for my 5 grandchildren as a hands-on caregiver. You know, I have a lot of women friends, authors and others, who complain about how men behave toward women, how men behave toward children, how men won't do the dishes, whatever. Well, in the Gospel of Zip, this is a handbook for any man who wants to stay married, for any person in a relationship that wants to maintain that relationship, for any wife or mother or grandmother who wants to say here to their son or to their son-in-law, to every male who wants to be in a relationship that works. Chivalry is something I talk about, taking care of one another. So this book is 2 things. It's my book about relationships. It's also my book and my how-to on how to push back against the heartless technocrats around us, the tech bros who are profiting off our demise, who when they see a book like this just wants to steal it to train their algorithms, but don't read the books. Have you noticed how these billionaires don't fund operas or ballets or art or anything else? It's all about their stupid technology, as if that's all that exists. And when they pay attention to a book like this, it's just to steal it, to add to their algorithm, to help us drive further down a rabbit hole of division and hate. Well, I'm pushing back. And if you go to thegospelofzip.com and you watch this book for free online, or you do me the personal favor of buying it on Amazon and reading it or giving it to someone who that you are worried about because their relationship is tanking, or they don't seem to be a very good mother or father, or they're looking for direction in how to have a loving relationship, or they're looking for direction on how to live a life that is good and wonderful, and yes, I'll use the word normal and wholesome in this unwholesome, unnormal time we are in, then the Gospel of Zip is the book I would urge you to read for free by listening to me read the whole thing, all 8 hours on Amazon, or rather on YouTube, and then maybe go to Amazon and buy the book. So please, please pay attention to this project. Thank you for watching the clip you just watched. My name is Frank Schaeffer.